Welcome back to the Free Idea Podcast as I speak to you driving in -5 Celsius degrees in Austin, Texas to work. Yes, sir. You heard it here first. We're talking about Monday, 20th of January, inauguration of President Trump. Also, freezing temperatures on Texas. At the same time, here I am working because I'm a Mexican, not a Mexicant. You hear me? This is part of my culture. I work regardless what the temperature out here is. Ain't nobody gonna pay for my bills but me. But I certainly wish somebody else paid my bills for me. So if you can send me $1, please, through Red Note, that'd be great. That app is still just as fun as it was before. I'm gaining more followers, and I'm just following everybody who follows me. I lately, the last video I posted there, which I thought was gonna get taken down, but has not yet, is I recorded my trip to Cabela's, which is a hunting store, and it has a lot of guns. My video shows a lot of guns, just like candy, spread it out all over the place. I show the prices, $3.99 for a nice rifle, hunting rifle, 307, I think, caliber. I showed them a bunch of revolvers, pistols, machine guns, everything. And it was over a minute long. And I really thought it was going to be taken down because for a while, at least for a day, it was classified under review, which it seemed weird to me because none of my videos previously had been classified under that. They would get posted in a minute. Well, to my surprise, this video in particular actually went live, and it has very few views, which maybe leads me to believe that maybe it's been suppressed somewhat because compared to my other videos, they have a whole lot more views. But I don't know. I can't say yet. It's only been a day since I posted it. Maybe it takes a while for it to get ramped up. Maybe it will get taken down before that happens. But to those people that say, and they're right to say this, by the way, that Red Note is a communistic app that will push Chinese ideas to us, the US of A. To those I say, we are also doing the opposite, mister. I'm also pushing my American ideas to them. I recorded I've recorded a video, and I'm planning actually to record it again, of me driving down the highway and telling them that there are no cameras on top of my highway taking a picture of me every single damn minute of the road, flashing my eyes. Yeah, you heard it here right first, folks. In China, every single time you drive on a car on a highway, there's always cameras taking pictures of you. I didn't know what it was for. I thought it was facial recognition for criminals. Probably it. But according to some YouTuber I was listening to not too long ago, he said it's toll fee. Apparently, all of their highways are tolls. Every single highway is toll. There's no highway out there that is public like the US of A, where everything is mostly free. And so, yeah, I'm already showing them the shocking truth. Here you can drive a car. I spoke to a Chinese man from Shanghai, beautiful conversation, texting and voice messages. And he let me know that cars in Shanghai, you have to buy twice. Once for the license plate, and then second time for the actual value of the car. And so he told me that in order for you to buy a license plate, it can cost 100,000 kwai yuan, which means in American standards right now, $12,000. And I said, my dude, my first car cost about that much. And it was fairly new after COVID expenses, 2017. That was the year of a used car. You know how crazy cars got. And I told them actually before that, cars were just $5,000, which sums up to maybe, I don't know, like 36,000 kwai. He was in shock. He was like, whoa, cars are cheap over there. And I thought that was a weird comment for him to say that cars are cheaper over here because, well, we know the truth. Cars are actually cheaper in China, but just because they charge for the license plates, it makes them more expensive. Although that is in Shanghai. Other cities work different in China. That Shanghai is like the New York of here, although it doesn't compare, it's much better. But you know how nowadays New Yorkers are getting priced out of the highway by making them pay a toll fee? Well, it's kind of similar, except instead of making them pay on the street, you make them pay for the license an exorbitant amount so that less of them want to drive. Next thing, Americans are now realizing how cheap education is in China and hospital bills and property taxes or no taxes and taxes on salary. It's incredible. We're learning that we have it much worse over here in that aspect, and they have it much better over there. But also, Americans are showing something that Chinese don't really have because it's not part of the culture, and that is to speak a lot their mind and their feelings. Somehow, a lot of politic short videos are coming up in the Chinese app against Trump or Biden or the economy or whatever, or Luigi Mangione, which apparently they love in China because he killed somebody who was greedy and of higher class. And he was, to them, it seems like the lower class against the greedy person of the high class, which in China apparently seems to be a good thing because recently a politician of theirs was sentenced to death because of greediness. Although that's what they say. But something that we gotta be aware of is that propaganda in China is to the max. If you think propaganda in America is something big, and it is, we at least have the right to be annoying about it on all platforms, but the Chinese don't have that right. We may be able to show them videos of our politics, but they are not able to show videos of their own politics. Those will be taken down. And I am amazed that ours haven't yet, but I get a feeling that they will. Maybe their algorithm, as we say, is not as sophisticated in the exclusion of politics as ours is. But we are showing them the American culture. They are realizing that for them, I saw a video that he speaks English and he feels more lively when he speaks it. Like he can express himself more just because he has taking on a different culture that goes with the English language of America. So if you think, oh no, Americans, you're going to become communists now for being over there, I say we are making the poor communists become more like us. And that's unfortunate, actually, because their life seems pretty good. Their government is doing okay. It's doing some atrocious things here and there. We don't hear about it because their propaganda is incredible. But they're also they're also got some good things going. And we may ruin those things. Also, I want to report here to the news. There's a fire on the left side of me by Waco, San Antonio, Bastrop, East Lampas, 1 mile. I don't know. Ooh, the tree is catching on fire. This is a forest little fire. Oh, it smells so good though. Smells like somebody's cooking barbecue. They probably used the same tree for that. Oh yeah. But those trees look green and lively, full of water, something California doesn't have. So I think we will be okay. Also, whatever's happening in Cali is pretty weird. I've been watching the news. They're not doing really good as they should. Ooh, I have a cop on my left. Nice. But he almost don't look like a cop. Ooh, he got another cop on the other seat. So probably training somebody. That's a nice car too. They have a Dodge Charger. Police Johnson City. Even though it looks almost like undercover because the paint is super faded off. It's not even glowing. It's just in dark letters. The car is black. The letters are dark. The only way I could tell is because he had that big old antenna that makes it look like a little control remote car. Now, that's the only way I can tell cop cars nowadays. If they have a big old antenna, they need it. Until they figure that one out, then they're easy to spot. What else can I say? Oh, another thing about. Oh, let me speed up over here. Oh, shit. This road gets really complicated. There we go. There we go. Oh, my God. My goodness. This is one of the perks of listening to my podcast while driving in the speedy highway of -5 frozen degrees Celsius. And we're still speeding over 75 because these damn roads merge on top of each other without warning. And we're chilling on the right side of the street try- to try to not go too fast, but then these roads merge and we're fucked. All right, all right. Cool. Now, I'm not going to go too much into the California thing, but it seems messed up. It does seem messed up. The biggest part that I can say, even though I'm not an expert, is that it is very predictable that fires happen there. And what is predictable can be also prepared for. Oh, this fucker is not going to let me. All right, don't let me. Okay. What is predictable can be prepared for. There's a better way to say it. I heard it before, but it's just dumb. Fires over there happen every year, it looks like. So you can prepare for it. If the citizens themselves prepare for it, the government can as well. Especially one that has the richest population and city in the US. All the celebrities live there. Every single one of them. Every single rich person houses are like you need 30 lifetimes of the average person or like 100 of them just to be able to pay the down payment on one of those houses. And somehow, they cannot prepare for something that happens every year. So I don't know. And I've also noted that it's hard for people to feel bad for them because it's mostly the rich Cali city. So yeah, most people don't really feel for it. Even though I don't even know if anybody else's house has been burned, but it's very interesting. And there's so much more things going on, much more details. But let me stick to Red Note, which I've seen a video that the app is actually not called Red Note. It's called Little Red Book. They're trying hard. So I listened to these two guys that lived in China for a very long time. I think they're called Lao Wai. And they're being one of my favorites to explore the dark side of China because nobody else will tell you the dark side since news are always covered up and people are not able to speak on it either, Chinese. So these guys tell you some of the darkest news that happen in there. Well, one of them is that it's actually not Red Book. It's Red Note. It's Little Red Book. And the only connotation where this Little Red Book comes up is with the previous leader Mao Zedong. And it refers to this is what I believe, it refers to a little red book, actually, that people would carry during communistic times that would tell you how to behave and kind of what are the laws of the land or the way to behave. And it was very common for everybody to have this little red book with them. Delicious sleep. And so this application is called that. But in order to avoid that bad, advertisement or marketing in the US because nobody likes that communistic shit, they just changed it to Red Note. Do what with do with that whatever you want. I got no idea. That's good or bad. It's just a little history about China. There's a lot of history about China. Some things are banned in there, like a book called The Black Swan, I believe it's called that, by a person who moved to the US from China because she was being persecuted for the book, because she exposed the history of the revolutionary period of China when everybody got kicked out to Taiwan. The old China ran away to Taiwan, and the new China, which was very popular with communism, took over the rest of the land. And during this takeover, there was a whole lot of things like killing teachers, moving people randomly or selectively to the farmlands, away from their houses, taking away their property, separating families. It was a mess of a mess. And that's why also a lot of people died of starvation. There was some other things happening there on how they managed their resources. Many, many things. There's one thing about rice that the king there was collecting all this rice and then selling it outside of China because everybody was lying to him saying that, oh yeah, we have so much rice, we don't know what to do with it. And then he's like, cool, I know what to do with it. Let's sell it to the international people. And they did. And turns out he pretty much sold all the rice for everybody because people would lie to him a lot because it wasn't a very nice society on truth. You would get punished for the truth. So people would just lie and be like, yeah, hell yeah, our rice fields are doing incredible. And they would all just lie on paper and get, pay the man to lie for you as well. Your farm did what it was supposed to do. It was that was so much more that is not, there's so much history there that is not nice. Now, every country has that type of history, and some of us are living through it as well. To which my next point is do not believe everything you see about China on Rednote or TikTok or wherever else, because that government really does push the good story only. Now, the US could also push the good story only. It could. It really, really could. Just just film the best highways with no potholes and say this is our cities all over the country. It could just film a single bad sandwich place from Chick-fil-A, just a single one, the best of them all, and say this is what all of our Chick-fil-A's look like. It could do the same thing with houses, film the best neighborhood out there, and say this is what every neighborhood looks like. It could do it all. It could take a picture of the ugliest scenery background city and then just edit the image 100 times to paint the sky bluer, the colors more vibrant, fake the weather, and then just be like, this is what every city looks like, and especially this one every single day. So be careful because I've told you, Chinese are professionals at marketing, beyond professionals. It's another level. Everybody does it. And it looks super fake, and you know it's fake, but because everybody does it and it does it at that level all the time, it starts to become the norm and you kind of tune it out and then you kind of believe it. Or you believe that, well, at least they tried. Good sleep, good sleep. So, it actually, for a moment, made me want to go back to China because, damn, they do have it good. But then I started listening to this guy that I used to listen to before. And I started to remember all the things and the reasons why I moved out of there. And I actually became more appreciative of being in the US and having my citizenship and being a citizen of the country. There's so many things. And when I started on Red Note, actually, just taking pictures and videos of whatever my daily life is to show the Chinese, I started thinking, wow, I do have it good. I do. Whenever I show them my apartment complex area for the gym and the pool and all that, all of a sudden I saw it with new eyes. Everything looks so beautiful and spotless. And I thought, damn, look at all this space in China. You would never have that. Look at all this space just for the public, let's say, for the people that are paying there, but it is public in some sense. In China, they do have apartments. Well, they're not apartments, so they don't have that. They don't because they're not apartments. It's a housing complex that looks like an apartment. To us, it looks like what apartments look like, but to them, it's actually their house. They live in skyscrapers, apartment rooms, pretty much. But they don't have that gym area, coffee area, pool area, especially no pools. I don't remember seeing a single pool out there. You had to pay for one, kind of like in Germany, which only specializes in being a pool or indoor. And it costs a lot of money, and you have to get out of your own way to go there. Unlike here in the US, where pools are very common. And we take it for granted, to be honest, together with the weather. I started remembering the pollution in the air. I started remembering all the language barriers. But more than anything, this is something that nobody will ever be able to tell you unless they have experience in China. I started remembering the people that cut in line. That is super common over there. No matter what, they would cut in line in front of you. And I think they only do it to foreigners. I would almost say that they do it to themselves, but I never saw it. I don't know if I saw it do it to themselves, but to me. They cut in line all the time, every single time, and it works. Whoever is the attendant actually attends them, and I hated that. Also, that spitting on the public. Damn, that was some spitting. There's other things that are just popping in my mind here and then about it. Police stopping me. Anyways, the casual racism. There's more. So also, I started taking pictures of like the video of Cabela when I'm showing the guns, and it looks like, damn, I'm allowed to just walk in, grab this gun, and point it at the sky at the roof. I like to point it at the roof, but I saw some kids pointing at the wall. Then lucky for them, there was nobody in that wall. But yeah, I guess you could point it at a person. That's the type of freedom we have, which is crazy, and it's bad in its own way. We have school shootings here. China has also some sort of cool event problem shooting, except it's not with guns, it's with knives. So they have a knife in school event. I don't know what they would call it. You call it here school shooting, over there would be school knifing. So either an adult, mostly it's adults, go in there dual wielding knives like they're a bandit from Maple Story, and then they just start going ham on these kids, usually kindergarten, which is even more messed up because, well, you're making it close and personal using knives, and then you go for little kids. Just damn. That I don't know what's the excuse there. In America, at least we have the excuse to be like, it's mental illness. They were bullied. But over there, it's a whole adult that is not even in kindergarten anymore. He graduated 20 years, 30 years ago, and he is knifing people with kitchen knives. And that happens a lot in China. I think there was a warning of that happening in my school at one point because there was so much police. So much police. There was one day, a lot of police and security letting the kids go through my school. And it's like a kindergarten, actually. And I was asking the leader, so the manager, the boss, the director, what's going on? What's happening? They would say, oh, it's just police making us feel safe, or it's just police doing their routine. Something along those lines, like, just police doing police things. Well, I listened to outside media sources in China, about China, sorry, and that there had been a school knifing somewhere. I don't know if in my city, but I think I'm going to assume it was my city. And so that's why there was extra precautions with the police there. But nobody would tell me that. I'm sure they know. I'm sure you know. I'm sure. No matter how propagandized they are, they know. They got to know, but they still lie to my face because it's part of the propaganda to just lie to your citizens as well. That's what being communistic is. You just follow the herd and you lie to both. You lie to your own citizens as well. Okay, now this is weird. All right, I'm not gonna make it. So let me see what am I gonna do. I'm gonna have to turn right in here, and then I'm gonna have to turn left in here. Boom. Eating sushi. Oh, it's called East Sushi. East Austin. What am I thinking of sushi, you racist Damien? Okay, so that happened, and that's my experience being over there. My other experience, why I tell you they're professional marketers, is because I've seen them take pictures of events that are like meh to me, and I am there, but then I see the pictures and it looks like, whoa, it looks like Disneyland. Looks like we were having fun in a theme park and it was just school. It was just normal activity that I thought about in the midst of the moment because nobody told me because there's no organization or communication between anybody. So they just told me to come up with something and I did. And I came up with something and it was fun. And then they take a video, edit it, make it super nice, keep it short, 10 seconds, 5 seconds. And it looked like incredible marketing. Like the kids are having an incredible time, which they were. But if I only saw that video, I would be like, what a professional school that is. But since I lived it, I know the details. And there's a lot of instances like that. But it's more about the editing of pictures and stories. Also, whenever we would train kids to learn English, we would test them, and the test was a video. And we would drill them for a week on a specific way to talk and respond and say and this and that. And it was good, actually. Actually, I may say so myself. It was really good. But what I can tell you is that before that week, they didn't know anything at all. I don't know. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Teaching is really weird. It always looks like they don't know when you're teaching until it's test day. And somehow they don't know either way, but make their way through. So that's what would happen. And on the last week, which was full of training, we do the test, take out the video. We do the video maybe 6 times, multiple times, so many times until the video comes out perfect, which is incredible. We send this video to the parents. The parents are super happy with the results. And to be honest, yes, it does work. It does work. They do learn. But at the same time, it's a lot of show. It's a lot of learn this thing in a single day or to do it. Sometimes it was just like do as much as you can, just like repeat after me type of thing. A lot of practice. And I don't know if that's a test enough, but that's what I mean. Sometimes, yeah, it's that would feel fake here in the US. It's like if you give a kid a test, a written test 5 times, and you're there for the entire day just correcting them every single time they get it wrong until they finally get the entire test right, but they tried 10 times in that single day. And then you take this test, show it to the parents, and it's like, wow, your child is doing incredible. Look at what he did. Look at his progress. But did he really? Because you were in front of him, telling him, correcting him all the time for one day, and then took that and said, that's the result. Usually in experimentation and laboratory testing, that's not how things are done. But that's how they're done in China. And you could argue, as I am arguing, that maybe that's okay-ish because in the end, the child does learn how to perform in real time in front of a camera, but also, I don't know. I don't feel so good about it. But at the same time, I do feel good about it because it is true. It's just not the complete truth. But yeah, that's marketing, I guess. Maybe that's just marketing all over the world too. You just lie about your product, but you don't lie. It's not a lie. It's truth. It's just a little more colorful truth. No, a little more fluffed up. Maybe it's lining. It's the truth in advance. It hasn't happened now, but it will happen later. Yeah, I think that's just marketing in general. But let me tell you, Chinese are really good at that. Really, really good at that. And other funny thing I've seen about us American putting culture in them is now they're speaking more. And I've seen the woman there start to dance more. And they're still very modest with their clothing, but I've seen less clothing here and there from the time from from when I was in China looking at actual posts in WeChat versus posting right now. They're evolving, and I've seen them take on more American woman appearances. And so, yeah, we are Americanizing their woman, making them more dancing and less clothing, which is something that China don't like. And they banned, according to a video that I saw, a woman speaking that they do ban women who look a little too sexy in their clothes. I didn't know that, but apparently that's a thing. So we're doing that to their women. Their men are looking at American women doing that, much revealing things and dancing, which is still not on the level of TikTok. TikTok was a crazy horse in that manner, still is, where it shows you porn every three out of nowhere. You're looking for water, and they show you titties. It became a meme where they just you just look for anything on the search bar, and it just shows you woman in revealing clothes, like super revealing. And they were always pushing what they could get away with. It was like almost a game to push it. So yeah, now I was saying that American women are having a lesser version of that in Red Note, and the Chinese men are all over it, all over it. I've seen. accounts of women with a huge amount of followers that it looks like they just made their account not too long ago, or they just have 5 videos, 10 videos, and two of those are themselves. The rest are like random things about their daily life. And they have way more followers than me, a man. That is very common everywhere, actually. In every social media platform, women will get more followers because of their beauty rather than men, which are more because of their achievements. But their achievements have to be unusual enough or very charismatic enough, but mostly unusual. Okay. So, yeah, we're doing that to them. And now the men, well, let me tell you, those women, those American women are going to get their OnlyFans clientele from China as well. And those Chinese women are going to have more competition now to keep their men. So it's very interesting. We're also changing their cultures, not only the other way around. It's not only them, us, as people would like us to believe. It's those damn Chinese. Nope, us too. We're doing the same to them. We are doing the same. Okay, now here I am on my way to a church, actually. I'm on my way to church, except it's not here for some reason. I'm having a little difficulty finding it. Let me see if I got it right. Uh-oh, I got it wrong. So the map often shows me the wrong spot. Well, thank you for listening to me. I'm gonna figure this out. Sayonara.